Super League basketball is levelling up British youths. This isn't just a league, it's a movement you can feel and see in the stands. From the first tip to the final buzzer, the story is written. Every drive, every shot, and every moment. Rivalries run deeper, games hit harder. One pass, one dunk, everything can shift. Legacies aren't given here, they're earned. New stories are ready, and new champions are coming. Season 2 is here. Stand tall for British basketball.
Rye slows it down. Nobody better at that than Aaron Rye. Here's Taylor. 1 second on the clock, steps back. Yes!
Not just an outside shooter, Amin Adamu showing some lift.
Well, here he goes, Taylor, 5 seconds on the clock. Over 2 defenders, and count the bucket, Rayshawn Taylor. This is your moment.
Good bowler for the Lions. Williams goes baseline. Oh my goodness!
Well, they turned over here. Here's Taylor for a chance for 51 points. Rayshawn Taylor.
Copper Box in East London. It's Super League Basketball Championship action between the London Lions and the Newcastle Eagles. These teams have met 5 times already this season, 6th time they're going to meet. They've met previously in the trophy final and the cup, and each time London Lions have come up trumps and have won each game. Is it going to be different at all tonight? Newcastle beat Caledonia Gladiators Friday. And as for London Lions, they beat Surrey on Thursday, but lost last weekend up at Sheffield Sharks. Alongside me is Mark Clark. Mark, we've got a big Sunday afternoon ahead of us. Both teams need a win. They really need a big win.
Well, for different reasons though, Graham. Obviously, Lions have had a few setbacks. Obviously, the loss to Sheffield being the latest of those. But Newcastle have found a real consistency over the last 4 or 5 weeks. And you look at the way that Newcastle function, and Coach Stoodle before the game, this team has gone smaller. It goes very quick in the backcourt. You know, every game they're averaging 88 points a game offensively. Scoring is not their issue normally. The one team it's a problem against, like everyone in this league struggles against, is the Lions, who keep teams to 73 points a game across this Super League basketball season. Is the Newcastle team going to be able to get their offense going? If so, that small ball basketball gives them a real shot, because at some point, if they're hanging with the Lions have had those scoring droughts. I'm fascinated, really fascinated, Graham.
Okay, well, that sets things up as the teams are getting introduced, and the fixtures for this weekend. The Lions beat Surrey Thursday. Phoenix beat Riders, Gladiators against Eagles, Flyers. Gladiators lost versus the Eagles on Friday. Flyers go down to Manchester, the hottest team in the league, really. Surrey beat Sheffield last night, 7th beat 4th. So maybe Newcastle can say something from last night's result, that the lower seed can win the games. The next Gladiators versus Riders is the other game this afternoon, which will keep everybody up to speed with. Here's the standings, Mark. And Newcastle Eagles precarious in 8th.
Well, I think the great thing about the Super League this year, as the last few weeks have shown, is that everyone used to say, 2nd till 8th, everybody can beat each other. Lions have lost some games. You know, now in the recent weeks, you've got a situation where you can literally say in this league, anybody beats anybody else, and everybody has a way of winning games. Look at Surrey last night, big win over Sheffield. Oh, and by the way, they beat Lions last week. This league is a great league for the competitive nature of it. We're going to see another great example of it tonight, because Newcastle could go above Leicester, albeit Leicester will probably win, but go on the same win record as Surrey. 1 game behind Bristol, 1 game behind Sheffield. playoff places up for grabs.
Yeah, the flow of the league is amazing this season, and 1 or 2 wins can take you up a lot of places, but a couple of losses, as London Lions have done previously, but for other teams that can be much more difficult. So we spoke to the coaches pre-game. Let's hear what they've got to say. Top of box, you've got London Lions today, a team that you know very well. How are you feeling about the matchup today?
Yeah. Before we start, I want to wish my mum a happy Mother's Day and my wife who's expecting our baby boy. I want to start with that.
Wonderful news.
London, we played them 5 times. We expect, a physical game. The roster is exceptionally deep. We know that, Cam McGusty back in the lineup, Joel Scott back in the lineup. So, yeah, we've had some battles with them where we've been competitive. We've had some battles where we haven't. So we've got to make sure we're strong in every area of the game. Really solid fundamental basketball. We've got to make sure physically we take the fight to London. We've got to try and be disruptive in different ways that we can. Easier said than done, but we're excited for the challenge. We're playing really good basketball at the minute and excited to see how we respond today.
Big win against Caledonia Gladiators Friday, but you're at the moment in 8th spot, so things are slightly precarious. How do you feel about moving back up the table again?
Yeah, I mean, we've got 8 games left from today, and I think, there's a lot of teams bunched up close together. We know that each and every game we have to try and find a way to be our best version in that game. So, like I say, we won 4 on the bounce at the minute. We feel like we found some good rhythm. Guys are trusting each other. Guys are playing with confidence. So, like I say, we know today's a big challenge. We're excited to go and take the game to London and see what we can do. But we know we've got 8 games left, and it'll be interesting to see where we finish at the end.
And finally, Rashawn Taylor is our player to watch. Another big performance for him against the Gladiators. Tell us what he brings to this ball club.
Yeah, I mean, scoring, poise, skill, playmaking. His ability to rebound from the guard position, his ability to touch the paint, score at 3 levels, can find a way to create his own shots, can play within the offense. So at times we're able to go and match up hunt, at times we're able to play with a little bit more flow, where the ball's touching second and third side. We've been looking after the ball really well over this period. So yeah, Ray and the rest of the guys, I think everyone's stepping up. I think Friday we had 6 guys in double figures. Ray's out there screaming for his teammates when Mitch Clark's hitting shots. So we found some good balance recently, and like I say, hopefully we respond today.
Coach, first off, Coach, congratulations on becoming a father. How's baby daughter doing, and how's this maybe changed your perspective in relation to basketball and life, etc.?
First of all, I want to thank my wife. She's a warrior. She did everything, so she's healthy, baby's healthy. I already have an older son. He's 3 years old, so perspective is, a lot more work, but very happy to have a baby girl. Everybody's already told me that's going to change completely than compared to a boy. So love her to death, and she's healthy, so that's the most important.
And Newcastle Eagles, a team you know well, played them a number of times this season. What's their game plan today?
Be disciplined. They're coming on really hot right now. They got 4 wins in a row. They're a little banged up, but the team's playing very well. We just have to be ready to execute the defensive game plan and, have an eye especially on Taylor.
And you're top of the league. You've had a couple of losses. Obviously, beat Surrey in the week. What's the mindset now for the rest of the season?
You want to be the best. You got to come in every day and do your job. Everyone understands their role, their tasks, and we have to be good every day. Being games, practices, taking care of your bodies. Because if you want to compete for the highest regard, you got to be good every day.
Coach. We're straight into players to watch now, Mark. And first up, Newcastle's Rashawn Taylor putting up some big numbers this season.
Well, he's playing 30 minutes. He has to put a shift in every night, Graham. But you can't fault his output. 18 points a game. He shoots 57, 35% from 2 and 3, respectively. The great thing for him, rebounds and also he assists. He does it all for Mark Studel's lineup. You're going to love the way he makes a contribution.
And Shawnee Brown from the Lions joined the team late, but immediate impact.
Well, Graham, for me, every single coach would love to have Brown on their roster. When you need something, he's always the guy that offers, not just in scoring, gets on the glass, really runs the floor well. His numbers are unbelievable. Averaging a ridiculous 15 points a game on his 25 minutes, shoots at 69 and 43%. The guy can play, but the most important thing, he has a desire to play. He has a hunger to play, and it's infectious for his team.
Yeah, straight into the London Lion rosters. Expected, well, Ethan Price getting a start as well.
Well, I think this will be an interesting thing with Scott and Price on the floor together. That makes the Lions a little big. So do Newcastle have a problem or do Lions have the problem in terms of matchup-wise? 3 guards in the backcourt because Brown, whatever you say, is mobile enough, can handle the ball well enough. Tariq Phillip is back, and he's just, for me, he's just the heartbeat of this team.
And Newcastle Eagles, who do you like there?
Well, I like the balance because it really is small ball basketball. All they have to do is make sure they box out, make sure they control the glass, but all 5 of them, they could switch 1 through 5, and notoriously, Lions sometimes struggle against a team doing those things.
Okay, we're all set. We're underway here at the Copper Box. 4 o'clock tip-off UK time, and Super League basketball, the journey, an exciting journey, begins. And we are off and running. Double team here straight away by Brown's unit, and they get a 3rd player involved. And Ethan Price, look out, early doors dunk for our player to watch, Mark.
Well, the way they dealt with the double team was disappointing because went short on the roll, the pass option was there, but then once they turned that down, everybody in a black shirt is active.
Newcastle Eagles in white, Mitch Clark. Quick 3, gets it, doesn't get it to go, and Shavar Reynolds.
You know what, Graham, I know this is going to sound really, really obvious, but like Newcastle have to keep the scoreboard ticking over. They cannot have flat moments.
Ethan Price, jump hook, just can't get it to go. Good rebound by the Eagles. Eagles, nice pass inside. And Rashawn Taylor will go to the line for 2 shots.
And that's a little better for the Eagles because they struggled against the pressure, but then people moved away from the ball, got the cut that was a really aggressive cut to the hoop, and they took care of the basketball. They cannot let the pressure turn them over. They get rewarded with the fouls, go into the free throw line. As long as the Eagles keep the scoreboard ticking over, then Coach Studel, with his small ball approach to this, can stay with that. If they stay with that, they have a chance to win the game. If they try and match up with Lions, I just think they're too deep. They have too much of everything. So Newcastle have got to make it a game and give Lions the problems to match up with them.
And a good crowd in this afternoon on Mother's Day, and a big shout out to all the mums, and as well, Coach Studel and Sabonis, who's just become a dad with a daughter. He's got a three-year-old as well, as Tariq Phillip jump hooks. But Mark Studel as well announced that his wife's pregnant as well, and you know, best wishes on Mother's Day to everybody, Mark.
Well, Graham, you've got to make sure you meet the requirement. You've got to make sure.
Just look after your mums. They're the people that brought you into the world. And good play. Good defense from Scott, and London Lions just doing enough there.
Yeah, you'd like to see, it's very tough because Lions have scored. If they get misses, the Eagles have got to keep the tempo high, got to keep the ball active. But in the half court, spread the floor, try and create space to put the ball on the floor and attack when you have a little bit of a mismatch. And that's the thing you want to see. You want to see, if you're a Newcastle fan, your team making the game break up. Because if you let Lions play Lions basketball, they are obviously the best team in the league. You cannot let them play their style of basketball.
Mark Clark alongside, well, just been involved with British basketball at the highest level for a long, long time. And top commentator Mitch Clark attacks, and he just can't get it to go. Shavar Reynolds. He is an explosive guard for the Lions. Reynolds, screen from Ethan Price, who's really growing into his role. But there is an offensive foul.
I'd like to see it again, Graham. Mitch Clark did a great job selling the foul. Did he sell a real foul, or did he sell, to an extent, did he sell what was a little bit of contact? I'm not sure. I really don't know until I get a look at it right now. There you see Price roll.
Yeah, he's just post up, isn't he? And Mitch Clark's in front of him.
Put it this way, if Ethan Price is that strong,
He's doing double
He's
sessions
scary. Do not meet him in the street.
Nice. Oh, they've got to finish that. Dion Hammond with the miss on the open layup. Corner three is off. Ball's loose, and they get the rebound. Nice job, and Hammond hands it off to Rashawn Taylor, who marks Toodles. Oh, that's wow. Good movement off the ball, but turnover.
Okay, the pass. I'm not happy with the pass if you're a Newcastle fan, but they've got to the ring a couple of times. The game's a little broken. That's good. They just have to finish those plays. But you know what? How many times have we said that covering Lions this shit? Oh, they've just got to finish those plays. The pressure they put you under, the physicality, the defensive intensity, it's really hard. It's really hard to execute against them. And they've got so deep, already into the rotations, Lions. It's continuous and relentless.
Saliade and McGusty, who's back. And they're excited to have him back. Another explosive player, number 23, keep an eye on him. Saliade wanting to get the ball into the corner. Mitch Clark tries to push it ahead, but McGusty's there, right on cue. Across to Saliade, who can knock that three down. McGusty at the top. Saliade. Scott, great athlete, big body. They're just looking for that open shot. Are they going to get it? And in the end, it's a foot out of bounds on the baseline.
See, here's the thing. I'm so... every time I come to the Copper Box to watch Lions play, I'm excited because the quality of players that they've got. And sometimes you think, well, just play. You know, sometimes they'll overpass. They've got guys who can knock down shots. The great thing about Newcastle in that series, they didn't get turned at all. Everything was in front of the defense. Did a really nice job at containing the ball.
Taylor steps back, high arcing three is just off, but good rebound by the Eagles. And Cole Long. Clark really getting physical, but he can't get it to go. And two shots for Mitch Clark.
Well, Mitch Clark is one of those guys that, again, every team loves a Mitch Clark because he's aggressive, he'll take it strong. He gives you what he's got. He doesn't try and do things he can't do. You see the replay, goes up strong. And those guys that watch what's now called the BCB basketball and was Division I last year, you know, he had a great couple of seasons at the Reading Rockets. And he gets one of those clubs, you know, in the BCB and in Division I that is a stepping stone, as well as being a good league in its own right. Mitch Clark has done really well in the SLB. You know, he's got that. He's British by nationality as well as having some Australian heritage, and he's one of those guys that's really used that BCB to step into the SLB, the top league in this country that just keeps growing, keeps getting better.
Yeah, and great atmosphere here. And Mitch Clark finding out about 19.6 assists in the game against Caledonia at the. On Friday, so double game weekend for Newcastle, and Lions played Thursday against. In fact, they played Wednesday against the 89ers here, and they won that after a two-game losing skid. Nice play from Williams. Another talented Brit, Coach Clark.
Absolutely, I love what he's added to this league this year.
Hammond to Clark. Long way out. He's going to attack. Still attacking, and he gets back to the free throw line. Well, smart play.
Yeah, and here's the dilemma for Lions. And even though McGusty is as quick as anybody in the SLB defensively, you know, at some point, someone in that three-guard set has the opportunity to put it on the floor. And every time they put it on the floor, good things have happened. You know, McGusty just almost stands up a little bit, and Clark went strong. So you can. Who has to react to who is always the dilemma for coaches in trying to put a strategy on the floor.
Well, Clark, good free throw shooter, just under 82%. And then leading up to coming across via Reading, he put up some big numbers out in Australia at the NBL 1 West finals. And it seems wherever he goes, he's putting up big numbers and playing a big role, and with just an 8-man rotation, which we talked about pre-game, he's going to have a big role to play today.
He plays hard, Graham. You can never, obviously, coaches love players who play hard. That's why coaches love Mitch Clark. He plays so hard, and normally really is so efficient.
Soliardi. Can Lions be efficient on this offense? Scott with the screen, wrap-around pass. Williams. Scott looking for options. He's surrounded a little bit, double team, and now another player coming over. Oh, the problem with the help, they overhelp, Mark. Nice job by Brown Jr.
Absolutely, because until then, they're running this sort of little soft matchup, almost a matchup zone. But if you get turned and you turn your head, then you're dead.
And Brown Jr. can fly, and he certainly did that with two hands. Here comes, and again, it's Burden with the pass, but that was a tough bounce pass.
Yeah, it is a tough bounce pass. But it's the type of play they've got to make. Everything off the dribble. They can keep making the penetration, create rotation, then they've got an opportunity. They can't forget, when they get the rotation, to pitch it out to the open three. At the minute, they've tried to create in traffic around the ring. Throw it, they've got some great shooters on this team. Just throw it to the open guy on the perimeter now and again to keep everybody honest.
Lions leading early on their home floor again. They want to keep the momentum. They're a long way ahead in first place as Tariq Phillip hangs in the air, can't get it to go. Good rebound by Williams. He throws it, Soliardi keeps it in those brightly coloured shoes as he attacks. Can't get it to go. Another offensive rebound. Aaron Rye, the leading rebounder on this Lions team, tidies things up, and he goes to the line for two shots.
Well, Graham, I don't think there's a better 3-4-5 combination in the SLB than Rye, Williams, and Scott.
Sure.
You know, in terms of, they're all pretty interchangeable. Aaron Rye, as everybody knows, with his time here, Lions last year, and with Cheshire, and then before that, Hemel again in that Division 1, stepping that slot, has a knack, has a nose for the basketball at the 3 spot, and it's a hell of a combination that those 3 offer. And I think that's Coach Sabonis' response to the small ball. He's got enough quickness to deal with the small ball that Newcastle have, but he has an advantage at the 3 that if he uses it well, will be fine.
Clark goes right at that zone press there, that 2-2-1, and he gets the left-hand finish.
I don't think Lions have to press
Sure.
Newcastle. Get them in the open floor, and Newcastle are going to attack you.
Tariq Phillip to Aaron Wright. One of Dartmouth's top players in American college. That's so smart. Such a quick reaction, Coach.
Well, and how Aaron Wright's a baller. He gives you something. He missed the first shot. He's not stopped. A shot just leads to something else. He goes after the offensive rebound and finishes the play. I really like the lineup that Lions have got on the floor. They just don't have to press. Look at this. Misses the first, powers straight back up. No chance for anyone to react. He's continuously playing hard.
Well, he was the first person that knew he'd missed, and he reacted the quickest. And 12-7 to London, leading, and I think it's a smart timeout by Mark Stewart just to settle everybody down.
Well, you talked about the short rotation. He's got to use his timeouts for twofold. One, obviously tactically, but 2, he's got to keep a little bit of rotation into those guys by using the timeouts. Coach Studel can't be too disappointed here because he's got to the ring numerous occasions, hasn't always finished. He's done a reasonable job on the glass down the other end. They've just got to, they're now used to trying to play this way, and I think it's becoming a way that Newcastle have found to win at the right time in the season. Don't forget, they made it all the way to the championship game last year. Came up short, but they're used to being involved at the sharp end of the season.
Yeah, and of course these teams met in the trophy final, and Lions are at the SLB Cup final next weekend. You're going to be heading down there, Mark.
Oh, it's one of the highlights of the season. Great facility in the AO Arena in Manchester. Still tickets available. Not many, but there's still tickets available.
Yeah, I think just like the trophy final, which was amazing in Birmingham, that will be a sellout, and it's Manchester versus London Lions. And of course, Manchester were here midweek last week, and they beat the Lions. So and then Sheffield beat them at the weekend, and then the Lions were able to beat Surrey on Wednesday here. So Lions with a point to prove. They may be a number of games ahead in first place, but they want to keep the momentum going into the playoffs. Nice rebound. And Long couldn't get it to finish, but it's a foul.
See, and there's the issue with that little bit of quickness and space in the floor. To box someone out from a long way away from the basket where Long came from is not easy. When you've got contact under the ring, Graham, you know where your guy is. You can get position. If you have to be really focused, the shot goes up, you've got to find your guy early. Long did a great job rebounding from distance. And again, this problem, Lions will find a way. They always find a way defensively. They'll find a way to contain this penetration. They'll find a way to make Newcastle stay in front of them. So it'll be interesting to see Newcastle. That's why the misses are important now. Can't dig a little hole here. They need to keep the scoreboard ticking over.
78.5% from the free throw line, Cole Long, and he knocks down both free throws. Soliardi hands off with Scott. Soliardi all the way across Williams. They keep the ball moving, as you said earlier. They're looking for almost that perfect shot. Good closeout by Hammond. Soliardi, oh, that's a great flip pass. Can they get it to go? That is BEA, beautiful offense from the Lions.
That's why it's a great 3-4-5, because all of them can step out, all of them can shoot the three, all of them can extend the floor.
Burden to Mitch Clark. Hammond, almost stolen. It is, no, he gets it back. Long. Okafor in the corner, just off. And Tariq Phillip with the rebound. Had his head up initially, does run it ahead. And it's Soliardi in that opposite corner, open, off. And Long will just about retain the rebound. He's going to bring the ball up himself. Clark. Okafor attacks, and that could be an offensive foul, and that's great defense by Scott. Or what do you think, Mark?
I don't know.
We'll have to have another look from various angles.
I think Joel Scott's a great, I think he really is smart. Let's have a look. Well, I tell you what I think, and I can see that Scott stayed square and the offensive player turned into him staying square. It wasn't like Scott tried to step up, which I think would have made it a block. He stayed in stance, got that league leg across, and the offense turned in as he tried to turn the corner. That's great defense by Scott. But Scott knows how to play defense. For me, that injury was such a shame, and now he's just bounced straight back.
And look who's on the floor now, Ovi Soko, just drifting in on the baseline there. Nice play by the very experienced Ovi Soko.
Ovi Soko never drifts, Graham.
He was sort of coming in behind the defense.
Yeah, he's one of my, I loved, it was such a great player, at the peak of his career. Did a great job in the Basketball Champions League, went to the Final Four with Murphy. Just a super, super player, and has been great. And he just does a great job for Lions at this time. He's been injured a lot, obviously.
Open three is good, and nobody came out from the Eagles. A few danger signs here as the Lions extend their lead to 10 points.
Great point, Graham. 10-point game. I don't see Newcastle be able to come back from a deep deficit.
Mitch Clark, and that is a dangerous pass. Maceo Jack with the loose ball collection. Jack turns, and it's blocked. Get out of here, says Aaron Rye. London Lions having some fun here, as they should do on their home floor if they can. Throws it in. Look at Ovi Soko. Big time play. Not a lot of love being shown there from Ovi Soko.
Hey, that's a roll back the years play. Yeah. That's where Ovi Soko was just so good at the highest levels of European basketball. Look, he's run the floor. He seals off. There's no way Mitch Clark can do anything about that. And the only option he has is to foul him before he gets the shot away. Ovi Soko being Ovi Soko. It's great to see him healthy out on the floor.
And he's going to be a key player for London Lions going down the stretch for sure.
And I know people talked a lot about Lions' schedule, which was so tough playing in Europe Cup and also having to keep the high level at the SLB. But they were doing that, and they had so many injuries to deal with. The bad news for the rest of the league is that they're all getting healthy.
Yeah, McGusty back, Soko back. They've got a very deep roster. They can go almost 12 deep. As,
they are 12 deep, Graham, they are.
Ovi Soko rattles in that free throw, and as you say, gives him a different look, and he's very strong. Let's see how they play with Soko in the lineup.
Well, the 2-2-1 back to the man-to-man is going to be an interesting option for him. Yeah, who knows if Coach Sabonis is looking at this, he wants to get the win today. Is he going to look at something like a 2-2-1 back to the man to deal with Manchester? Because Manchester has shown they can score.
Yeah.
You know, and coaches are always looking at ways to get different looks, different options. But the 2-2-1 back to the man is an interesting, with the lineup they have, with no out-and-out big. Literally, again, they've got that Aaron Wright at the 3, which is an asset for any team. Ovi Soko and Dean Williams on the 4 and the 5 spot. Everyone's interchangeable in that front line, and they're so active, so active. And then with Soloade at the 2, got some size in the guard spot.
Sure.
It's a tough lineup. And the 2-2-1 gives them a different look, and then they go back to man, which is their bread and butter at the defensive end.
Burden makes the free throws. Just inside the last minute now of the first quarter. Lions leading. 21-10. Screen by Soko. He's open. Extra pass. Aaron Wright. Now they're going to try and get the... Oh, nice fake. And the 3 by Soliade, using that extra height for the shot.
Man, basketball IQ at its highest. Seriously good work by Lions.
You've got to love the shot fake, and then it's straight into the shot. Once he got the defense off balance. Nice pass. And that could be offensive. And Lions just seem to be everywhere.
Man, let's have a look where he took the charge.
He could be inside the charge circle, yeah.
Then again, it wasn't like there was a way you can be in the charge circle and generate the contact, but take a look. He's under the hoop.
Sure. Well,
hey, I'm not knocking. The defense was great. The rotation was tremendous. You can take a charge in there in certain circumstances. Normally, if you leave the floor.
Interpretation of the rule. Oh, they've thrown him. Oh no! Great catch and retrieval by Ovi Soko, and a nice smile with his teammates.
Well, yeah, I saw Ovi before the game, and I think he's loving the opportunity to get back out on the floor. You know, he's healthy. It's the first thing. What's the control here? It's about Ovi Soko, again, being Ovi Soko, so strong through the contact. And when he is at this level, he's such an asset for this team. 18-point margin, 28-point first quarter, Graham.
Yeah,
you know,
they're looking strong, and Newcastle won't take a shot to finish off the quarter. So at the end of the first here at the Copper Box, the home of the London Lions, Coach Sabonis and his Charges are in charge against the Eagles. Eagles in 8th spot, Lions in 1st, and well, Studer with a short rotation in a bit of trouble here early. Here's the game stats.
Well, there's the problem. There's 17% and 0%. And obviously anyone can see that and say that. But if you remember, Graham, how many shots did they miss at the ring? Probably left 6 to 8 points out there. Now that still leaves it 27-18. But if you're not scoring, Lions are running the other way as well. So it's double impact. Getting out rebounded because they missed a lot of shots. Lions have just been exceptionally good. Eagles haven't been poor. They haven't finished plays, but they've done a really good job.
Well, here's a couple of highlights. Here's some highlights from that first quarter, and Sean Lee Brown, he certainly showed he could fly in one of his plays. There's Brown there, and let's just look at some of his highlights here, Mark.
You know, like I said, he's always the guy that is available, always the guy that is hungry to play the game. And watch him now move. Reads the fact his guy stepped in, doesn't go too early, which would generate the rotation, times it perfectly, wants to receive the ball. You know, like sometimes people miss players. You never miss Brown. Never miss him because he cuts so well, so visibly. Any team wants him to be on their roster.
Shawnee Brown, 15 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. Just played 5 games. And as you said, he's really efficient. But if he's making plays like that, he's not going to miss. He's going to be... Now, we've talked about the Super League Basketball Cup. Here's the details. Sunday, 22nd of March, 2026, next Sunday. AO Arena, a wonderful arena for this event. Get your tickets now, www.axs.com. And we were here for that Manchester game. It all happened right at the end, and Manchester got the 1-point win. But Lions, everybody healthy. They've got to start favourites still, though, haven't they?
Obviously, Lions will always start favourites in this situation, but there's no hotter team than Manchester at the moment in the SLB.
And the EMBL as well, of course, they progressed. Nice pass out from Ovisoko, inside to Williams. Williams just halted slightly. Aaron Rye gets himself open. Excellent concentration from Aaron Rye.
Well, anybody watching the game that watched their basketball in Hemel will remember that type of play. Always gets available, always finishes plays.
And another cheap offense, really. Oh, that's great finish. And Ovi tries to get the dunk, just needs to get his legs maybe a touch sharper in order to make that play. Maybe in time for the Cup final next weekend.
I won't tell him you said that.
And Ovi and Okafor just resisting the temptation to have a little bit of a push and shove there.
Now, Mason just asked Ovi, it's like, where should I go for a meal after the game? And Ovi wasn't happy. Ovi's going to give him some options.
So baseline inbounds from the Eagles, Burden. Okafor off 2 feet, just can't get it to go on that bit of fadeaway there.
Well, there's the impact of Ovisoko getting into his head a little bit, takes a really tough shot, and Ovi just plays defense, gets back on and goes again.
Williams, Soko, and he's fouled back at the line, and nice interaction between Williams and Soko.
So Scott found Ovisoko, Williams is now finding Ovisoko. Ovisoko waits for the defense to move, and then finds himself in a little seam. Watch there. There you go. Gets underneath the defense in the gap between the defender on the wing and the guy that's like he's lost on the cut. He's played at a great level.
Yeah.
And his IQ is right on point.
Played at Le Mans in France, and of course when he's fit, he's, as you say, it's such a big part of this London Lions team, and it's almost a definite action by the Lions team to get him a touch on every offense.
Well, Ovi's open. Ovi needs the ball. You know, he's that, and you know he's so low maintenance as well. He's not having to make moves. He moves intelligently, catches and finishes. He rebounds, catches and finishes. He's just a joy within a team.
He was waiting there, foul on Reynolds, I think. 6 points for Soko so far in 3 minutes of play. Pretty efficient. And Soko heading back towards coach.
See, the thing for Newcastle now, obviously, they're down 21 points, so you can't look at the 21. It's, for them, 8.5 minutes going to the half. Let's make sure we're better than we are now. Let's make sure that they get to something like, let's try and get to 15.
And shot short from Hammond. Here comes Reynolds, crossover, left hand, finish. That's outstanding effort from Shavar Reynolds. Time out, and Newcastle, they're having to use their 2 timeouts already, because otherwise I think Lions are just going to pull too far away.
I mean, if you don't try and stop it until now, Reynolds is going up.
Yeah.
It's just, you either have to stop or foul it much earlier than that. Use your fouls to get them on the sideline so you can restructure your defense. And there you go, Ovisoko, you know, just back from injury, leads all scorers with 8. And it's what an impact off the bench for Ovisoko. Salade off the bench as well. In fact, the 3 high scorers for Lions all off the bench, which shows you the problem the rest of the SLB has. It's never just about the starters for Lions. It's always about the whole roster.
And Clark, 6 points for Eagles. Burden Jr. 2 and Taylor 1, and they are struggling to score. But what do you think Mark Stood was saying in this timeout? What can he say at the moment?
one, half his problems get resolved if he improves his field goal percentage, because they're not trying to defend Lions in transition as often as they've been so far. They've got to actually finish plays, get shots they want. And if you're going to play this small ball style, if you're going to try and aggressively get to the basket, you've got to then score or share in terms of the getting the open shot. You can't let the ball slow down. You've got to have the defense turned and trying to chase you. And they've got to stay with that. They don't have another way of going against Lions. So stay with that, finish play. You can't have Macy Jack's sort of fadeaway jump shot and stuff like that. You've got to work harder offensively to get a better look. What they've shown is they can break Lions down. Then they've just got to finish plays.
Yeah, 25, to your point, Mark, 25 points from the bench for the Lions against 2 from the Eagles. But Eagles, just 8 players suited up today. Into the corner, wide open 3, just short. Nice job by Long. Extra pass, Maceo Jack will take a 3. And that's off. And Reynolds with the rebound.
See, that out of the timeout, they got 2 wide open looks, Graham.
Yeah.
Can't ask for anything more apart from to finish those plays.
Yeah, good point. Williams looking for movement, Gusty. Little fade away, and they are on point today, the Lions.
That's just great execution. He'll curl off the screen. Coach Stoodle's going to try and work the referee here. You're going to see that in the background because he's going to say there was a moving screen. He's looking for any way to get his team fired or getting any sort of benefit of getting back in the game.
Rashawn Taylor, just little hesitation against Ethan Price, and that was enough.
And there's the patience involved in actually trying to play this like spread and trying to get big guys coming out and playing defense. Price can't guard Taylor. That's the difference when you got Price out there as the 5 guy. When you get that 5 guy matched up against the guard's going to break it down. As good as Ethan Price has been, he can't deal with this matchup. He's got to make him shoot it over him.
Just brought him out that little touch. 19 points a game, Rashawn Taylor's 3rd in the SLB in all scores. McGusty getting him some minutes as well. So Soko, McGusty, this is all-star lineup. Aaron Wright, catch, shoot, drains it from the corner. Nice play from Aaron Wright. That utility, that just does so many different things. Now, Rashawn Taylor, now he's got Scott on him, and they throw it away. A little bit of a different matchup with Scott.
There's a difference. Joel Scott, one, he gets his angles really, really good on the ball. It's like it's a clinic of how to get yourself set. He's just a little bit quicker than Ethan Price, and obviously a bit more experienced. Been around a little longer.
McGusty looking for Ethan Price, but that's Rashawn Taylor just doing enough, and they get the turnover. Nice left-hand finish, no foul called, a lot of contact, and Hammond, and look at Stootle on the court, and he could end up with a bit of a sanction here, Coach Stootle, but he's saying his player was fouled.
Well, the only thing I can say, yes, he is. He is saying that. He actually came on the court.
Yes, he came a long way on the court.
He was out on the foul line. Now, like, there is no way Coach Stoodle was out of control now. What Coach Stoodle is trying to make the point is that's just a missed call, and his team is getting like 37-12. They're on the wrong end of a bad score line, and he's not going to lie down and take it. And he wants the referees to understand he's not like stopping.
And we're having another look again.
How is that not a foul?
Yeah, there's a lot of body-to-body contact
and
there.
Everything, arm down low, push, there's a push, there's contact.
Yeah, I can see why Coach Stoodle is
and I'm sure there's going to be guys, there's going to be people out there, like referees out there going, what does Mark Clark know about refereeing? Well, I absolutely know nothing about refereeing. But in terms of understanding what a foul is, I have an opinion, and that's a foul.
Yeah, sure. Offensive foul on the Lions. A lot of whistles going on. I think Ethan Price there with the foul. Shake of the head.
Yeah, but like, wow. I don't know.
We just want the balance of the game to have some flow, and then if something needs to be called, call it. But then we don't want make-up calls because maybe a call's been missed. Burden spins off the glass, and that, well, there is a whistle here. And that is a push, 2 shots.
If we, I don't know, Graham. We're not here to comment on the referees very much. Like, we're here because there's 2 great basketball teams playing against each other.
Sure.
But Joel Scott played defense all the way through that play.
Yeah.
And there is a bit where referees will let the game go until the shot, right? Which,
yeah, maybe a late call.
well, it's not so much late.
Call.
If you let him get to the basket and he's still being fouled, then he's going to go to the free throw line.
Yeah.
You know? Experienced referees do that really well. They reward the offensive player for the move, you know?
And if there's a slightly delayed whistle, not a problem. The Basketball Champions League referees spoke
problem.
about that.
No.
And they're some of the best in Europe, so...
Don't have quick whistles. The last thing you need is quick ones.
Let's get it right. Nice free throw, and a lot of fans in here today.
Was there more contact on that play than the one that Coach Studer got the tee for? There's your question.
I would say no. But I'm not sure I know any more about reffing than you do. Off the glass. There's one player who knows that about getting the ball in the hoop, and that's McGusty. Newcastle. Eagles have just given it away. Tariq Phillip looking for options. There's a pretty good one. And 2 players surrounding Brown Jr. And I think the ball's going to remain with Lions. Nothing called.
Wow.
And, well, Brown's keeping his... he's kept his comments to himself there. But the ball stays with Lions.
Here we go, watch. Here we go.
Scott, and there is a foul there. Nice little head fake there, a little bit of footwork from Scott, and the foul's called. So Scott will go to the line.
The other thing, Graham, there was a half-court turnover, which is fairly difficult for officials to react to. But you had to be ahead of the play to see the contact, because if you're behind the play, you don't see the contact, and no one actually managed to get ahead, and that's a half-court turnover. So that stuff can happen. But
Scott's first points of the game, just under 74% from the free throw line.
I think Brown's reaction was the best reaction, as in like, hey, all right, let's just play. Let's make the next play. The next play.
Yeah, you got it. And Scott makes both free throws, so the lead keeps extending, and Newcastle Eagles in a lot of trouble here. Burden into the corner. Hammond drains it. Nice play.
That's what they've been doing for the last few weeks. Penetrate, kick, open shot. Penetrate, kick, open shot. That's where they've had a really good run of games and really come up with some big wins.
16-6. Oh, good play from Price. 16 to 18 to 6 is the quarter score in favour of the Lions, who are in pretty much complete control here on their home floor, which they haven't always been of late, as we saw in the Manchester game and losing against Sheffield. They just seem to lose their way, maybe just lost their focus, having been ahead for so long in this Super League basketball title race. I think they're certainly refocused today. Coach Sabonis done a good job. McGusty, Scott attacks, that is a foul. And Maceo Jack had to make that, otherwise that's a certain 2.
I love the way Joel Scott plays this game. Defensively down the other end, stay with the play, made Jack take a tough shot, goes down the other way. This is a genuine attempt on the ball.
He's trying to time up, but I guess the refs have said...
Well, no, it's Joel Scott saying, like, that's an unsportsmanlike foul, right? I don't know if it is or not. I'm just asking you a question, because you normally ask me.
Is this role reversal for a moment?
Yeah. Did he make a genuine attempt on the ball? The hard fouls are hard fouls. There's no such thing as a hard foul anymore. Either it's a foul, or it's an unsportsmanlike foul, or it's not a foul.
I think he's tried to grab the ball. May have got a bit of arm as well.
Then that's absolutely the correct call. Most importantly for Lions and Scott, he made the throws.
You got it. And they extend their lead, 46 to 16. The Lions back in dominance mode again. Phillip, GB International, Mitch Clark. doing his best, but that's a great pass out of the pressure and the drain three. That's super high IQ from Mitch Clark.
See, and Coach Sabonis will be like, why have I got 3 guys on the ball? Yeah, I was all right with 2, I didn't need 3. And then that obviously gave the people behind, because there's normally one guy has 2 guys to match up, he'll get the next pass. In that situation, you know, there's Hammond with the 3. This is where they've really got some consistency in the last few weeks. Points in transition, points in the open floor, open looks, they can knock them down. What Lions have done so far is really limited the open looks, be they off the dribble at the ring or the contested 3 from the perimeter. That's why it's almost, they don't need to do too much defensively apart from be really solid man-to-man.
Well, 4 minutes 11 remaining in quarter number 2, and the Lions leading 46 to 19, and well, in complete control. And as for Coach Sabonis, this is a really good opportunity as the crowd are enjoying the in-venue entertainment, and it's a decent crowd here on a Sunday afternoon. Sabonis is going to like the fact McGusty, Soko is back, competition for places.
Well, it's also as well as the competition that they'll have every day in practice. It means he has lots of different options he can and looks. And we looked earlier on at the fact that the 3, 4, and 5 option of going quick and mobile.
Yeah.
He's got that. Ethan Price is in the middle of a great season for him. Scott gives him enough solid size to be the 5 if he needs to. So now, instead of having to try and manipulate and manage sort of, you know, his roster, now he's got all the guys that they want. He's got different options on the floor, and he's now going to Sandy coming in, the young, you know, the player who's come through the ranks here, and they're still in this. We're going to play Lions basketball. When they play Lions basketball, they're so tough.
Definition of a local boy, done good, and Sandy went away to college in the States. But they've got 10 different scorers here, London Lions, 11 of 11 from the line, and they got another open 3. And Sandy joins the party immediately.
Well, it looks like they were going to play a zone. Then they match up coming out of that zone, and then they forget where people have overloaded the side.
Clark, contested 3 is short, rebound by Scott. And just one shot, one and done. And Sandy looking for options. Gives it to Tariq Phillip, experienced British international who's played around Europe. Great to have him back with the Lions in the Super League basketball. Gusty gets blocked. Great D from Newcastle. I think it's Mitch Clark just stayed with him there. Burden attacks, foul on Ethan Price. And again, these bigs, the bigs want to handle the ball. They fancy themselves in that open court situation, trying to guard the quicker player, but this time Ethan Price loses out.
Well, and the issue they've got now is obviously they're already in the penalty, so they can't just foul to stop the ball, because they would send Newcastle to the ring, to the line. But
yeah, as we just see Ethan Price going out, there's going to be some half-time content. It's an interview with Ethan and Coach Sabonis, and you know, Ethan's come through the ranks in the UK, went to Essex Rebels, went out to the US to college, and has come back and come straight back as a pro with London Lions. Great, and it's a great story with Ethan Price.
Well, yeah, we talk a lot in these games about the players that are coming through the academy system, and Nick Drain and the guys at Ipswich,
of course,
have all had a big piece of Ethan Price's development. Still, obviously, it's down to the guy. You know, it's down to Ethan Price and how hard he works. But they've given him the opportunity and the environment.
Yeah, of course, Ipswich is where he started, where so many good players have started their English, their British careers. As Scott with the little jump hook, another interchangeable player. They've got so many different skills on offense. Hammond wanting some movement. Canway. And again, another quick steal. And here comes the Lions in transition. Tariq Phillip brings the ball out, guarded by Hammond. Phillip, he's telling Aaron Rye to get away. Rye comes back in motion along the baseline. Sandy inside, and there's Ovisoko causing issues right under the basket. They were determined to get that option there, I think, Mark.
Yeah, and I think when Ovisoko finds himself down low and Newcastle have had to switch and find that one of their guards down there, Ovisoko's not going to be stoppable legally stoppable anyway by the defense. And in some ways, if they, Eagles have got a little bigger now, maybe if they could just try to just go to the zone and see if they can slow London down in in a straight 2-3 or, well, 2-3 with this lineup.
And Scott just powers his way to the basket with a short-range jump hook, and Newcastle getting in all sorts of problems here, Mark.
Yeah, and I think there's the zone options. You don't give those shots up. You can test that space and make him kick it outside. And some teams this year have had success against Lions by packing the middle and asking them to shoot shots. But at the moment, the way Lions are in rhythm, I'm not really sure what Coach Studel could put on the floor that will break that rhythm, unless he starts to score regularly down the other end. And he's just not scoring regularly down the other end. 2 minutes to go in the half. He only has 20 points on the game. Yeah. And this is a team that averages nearly 90 points a game in the SLB. And when Lions are on it, that's what Lions defense can do.
Inside Camway, he's a big body. Can he actually get this shot up against Ovisoko? And he does. Good patience and footwork there by Camway, Emmanuel Camway.
Well, he's another guy, Graham, that's whether it be through the Newcastle University or whether it be through Essex or his time at Barking Abbey.
Yeah.
He's been through the British system, and there's an increasing number of guys getting it done.
They just can't get the ball, but Sandy getting the offensive rebound, doing his job. Tariq Phillips, step back, off. And, well, one of the few times where they've actually had to make their own shot because the ball's moved so well.
Yep.
So Eagles, can they have a positive last minute and 15 seconds or so in this Super League Basketball Championship matchup at the Copper Box here, live on DAZN. Hammond just looks at the three and it's a long way short. Scott pushes ahead, Aaron Rye back in. They can just keep making these substitutions and no issues. Sandy attacks and he throws it. Well, it's a semi-throwdown, but I like the aggression there from Kieran Sandy. And so Ovisoko, well, gets called up with the Eagles player, Rashawn Taylor, and well, I think they're both okay. So Taylor will go to the line. The Lions are in foul trouble.
Yeah.
Rashawn Taylor with his journey to the SLB, SIU Edwardsville, an Ohio Valley Conference Player of the Year 2025, so really well regarded, as there are in this league. And if you did Surrey last night, if you look at the level of the guys that have come straight out of college in that team, you've got the likes of Rashawn Taylor, Conference Player of the Year coming straight into the SLB.
And that is the MO, so to speak, of the league at the moment. A lot of guys coming straight out of college here. They like the idea, the level of the league is good.
Phillip, jump hook, Tariq Phillip, you've talked about him glowingly previously, but he just keeps getting it done, game in, game out.
From the moment that Tariq Phillip got involved with Great Britain basketball, he was just a huge asset.
Maceo Jack, that was a brave trying to get through two London Lions defenders, and he'll go to the line for two shots. And Maceo Jack slowly just gets to the free throw line, knows this league really well, having played at Cheshire, and Ovisoko and Kieran Sandy, they're fully involved, and there's a few words being had here, and London Lions have just got to keep well away from this. Let's get the win, and let's just shut this down.
So I think you love Maceo Jack's intent because he's looking at the situation, he wants to take some responsibility. Do we have a technical foul here, or there's no lineup, so there's something.
potentially a technical here.
Well,
Definitely a foul on Maceo Jack. Rashawn Taylor's taking the free throw.
So that's there was a technical call. We'll just check on who. But Maceo Jack's intent is fine. Yeah, he's literally looking to take that responsibility. He's looking to carry the team on his shoulders.
Yeah,
but
Sandy's been taken out, and he's just been spoken to by Coach Sabonis because he was in the mid. Well, for Kieran Sandy, he was in the midst of some good minutes.
100%. 100%. He was in the right place. But Maceo Jack, his time at Cheshire, there was always that little competition between Lions and Cheshire. So I'm not surprised there's a little bit of reacquaintance, making the reacquaintance of each other.
Here we go. I think London Lions will want to keep it to the last shot. Tariq Phillip to finish off this half. A dominant first half for the London Lions. Scott with the screen. He's open momentarily. Foot violation by Maceo Jack, but just slowed down London Lions sufficiently there.
Yeah, Coach Sabonis will take the time out here. You want to use the situation, get a play that he wants, 4.3 seconds. And there's nothing like live play to sort of get, draw the play up, decide which play you're going to run. Who knows when you're going to need it.
Yeah, and so what do you think they're going to be able to take it from, pretty much?
Should be the sideline. It was
sideline
right
opposite the three. So what are you looking at for Lions? If this was you, Coach?
Well, they may want to. They might stick a back screen in to throw something to the ring and then pop the back screener, or they might get some staggered stuff away from the ball because they got 4.3 is enough to get a shot, and it's enough time to get a shot that you want. You're limited in the things you can do once the ball comes in. 4.3 means you've got enough time, but if you can get something out on the out of bounds, you're much happier. 31 to 16 in the quarter. It's been a very, very difficult Sunday afternoon at the office for the Eagles.
Yeah, they are really struggling. Bench points 37 to 6. But there's not really any differential between the starters and the bench players, Coach.
For Lions, no.
Lions, yeah.
Yeah, because Lions, it's various people have started in various games. There's all sorts of options they have. So Lions, when Lions are playing, you have to keep the scoreboard ticking over, because if you don't, Lions just get relaxed at the offensive end, and then they look really good, and they are very good.
Well, they're 4 of 7 from the three-point line if they want to take a three. There's the alley-oop, but they just don't get it open enough. Maceo Jack pulls up for a long two, and he's in and out right on the buzzer. So Lions, they did look for the lob, but they just couldn't quite get open enough. So we're at the half, and London Lions, 58 points in a half. It's more like London Lions basketball offensively for sure. Coach Sabonis continues to speak and to tutor Kieran Sandy, and we're going to look at some game stats and the Lions in complete control.
Yes, they are in complete control, Graham. What else? There's nothing else to say. If you're going against Lions, you shot 24% from the floor. They are going to score in transition because they're just relentless. So that's the first thing to say. And the Eagles create that problem for themselves because they missed a lot of easier looks at the beginning of the game.
Yes.
Now it's damage limitation for Coach Studel and the Newcastle Eagles. They really have built some positive momentum in the last few weeks, last four games or so. He's not going to want to see that just evaporate here in London.
12 of 12 free throws for Lions, 14 of 19 from the line for the Newcastle Eagles. Well, and Coach Sabonis and Ethan Price, we got a really nice halftime content interview and feature on those two personnel from London Lions. Enjoy halftime. We'll see you the other side.
best, 80% the best.
Statminster.
No, you asked.
Opinion Circus. Last chance cross. And decision time.
Back yourself. Boyle Sports.
I'm happy who I am. I'm happy who the parents I have. And my father especially, he taught us a lot of things, how to be a man and to respect everybody and to respect the game and respect what you do. So, it's something that is important, but at the same time, everybody has a father, everybody has a family, you just try to represent your family the best way possible. And does that, my dad in Lithuania especially has a little extra sauce to it, let's say, or in Europe in general. But yeah, I'm just happy for the father I have. He loved us. He taught us a lot, and he always showed us the way. Everybody thinks like, it's automatic that my dad's going to push us to play basketball or to do basketball. He never did. He never wanted. He's like, you guys do whatever you guys want to. It just happens automatically. You're just around the game the whole time. You're going to practices. And when he was in Portland, then, we moved to Spain and we get put into basketball, but when we were in America, we did everything. We did football, golf, tennis, soccer, or football in that case, did everything. And it just happened to make it to basketball. We were good. We liked it, we understood the game. And that, but like for example, my big brother, he stopped playing at 18, and my dad didn't mind it at all, So yeah, my brother's working in a hotel. He's a hotel manager. My sister's in Japan. My brother's obviously in the NBA, and I'm a coach. So, everybody just went their own path. So my dad wasn't a big, that we had to do basketball, but yeah. In the last 2-3 years playing in Spain, I already started doing the coaching course in Spain to be able to do it. I was always asking a lot of questions to the coaches. I always realized coaches were getting annoyed by me because I'm asking why we do this, why that. Does this make sense? This doesn't make sense. So I was already, my last 3 years, my last year playing, actually, I was coaching one of the youth teams at the club that I was playing just to get some, traction. And then, for the course, you needed to do it. And then at 27, when the offers that I wanted weren't coming, I knew it was going to be eventually going to happen. I thought maybe if you start earlier, I can get higher faster or younger or whatever the case may be. So I'm very happy I took the decision and, here I am. I am a hard worker. I believe in hard work every day, discipline. But I would say that everything happened. I'd probably be surprised that everything happened so quick that I'm a head coach in London, Euro Cup and SLB, at 33. But I'm very thankful again for the opportunity, for everybody that allowed me to do this, to have the coaching staff that I have and the players that I have that are very, very, very easy to coach and very, 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 very good rounded people.
I think as an English player, growing up, for me at least, I never really imagined playing in England until maybe, towards the end of my career with opportunities here. But yeah, like you say, when I finished my college career and I kind of got contact from London Lions, it was kind of like an opportunity thing. I can't pass this down to be able to play Euro Cup level. Like you say, play at one of the most decorated clubs. My sister's had experience here playing a couple of years ago and her experience. And for someone who's English to be able to play in your home country and play the level we're playing at and do that as my job is something that was, too good to not do. For me at least, I think the biggest thing is just being open-minded to everything. I think obviously the transition from being a senior in college where, you're seen as one of the older guys that's more experienced, that you've seen a lot of the college scene, to then going to be in the first year the rookie again, where you're kind of opened up to a whole new realm of, like you say, Tariq, J3 that played professional basketball for 8, 9, 10 years. So I think just being open-minded, learning from loads of different people, and also just enjoy it as much as you can. I would say the biggest thing is just keep going. It's a long race. I don't think there's any shortcuts or any. I think a lot of the time people are looking for certain tips and tricks to get to where they want to go, and I think a lot of the time, from my experience at least, it's just the person that keeps going. I would say. I think I know a lot of people that maybe I was in a similar situation with them when I was 17, 18, and I kind of just kept going. I'd say, you know, there's obviously certain stuff, a lot of hard work, a lot of luck, you know, that's gone into it. But I just think, just keep going and make. I know it's kind of a bit cliche, but just, you know, that 1% every day, add a little bit. That's going to help, you know, over 5, 10, 15 years of your career.
Welcome to Utilita Arena for the first major final of the Super League basketball season. History waiting to be written.
The first final of the season, and it couldn't get much better than this. We are underway here in Birmingham. Nice pass out court. Mullins catches it. What a finish as well through the contact. Rob has to heave it here. Can't get hold of the ball. Does get it away and banks it in. Hatters in full flow right now. Kick to the corner. Harrison for three. Got it and one. And the celebrations can begin.
Now we won the trophy.
The Sheffield Hatters are the Betty Cadona Trophy champions. It is the Lions era against the defending champions, the Newcastle Eagles. 40 minutes to decide who's the champion. Jack has long ahead of him. Phil finds Cole long for the Jack. Zadamu open for three and he knocks it down. Brown tacks the rim and jams it in. He's hit it! Cole long for three! And the London Lions have the silverware in their hands. Your 2026 Super League Basketball Trophy champions, the London Lions.
Super League basketball is leveling up British hoops. This isn't just a league, it's a movement you can feel and see in the stands. From the first tip to the final buzzer, the story is written. Every drive, every shot, and every moment. Rivalries run deeper, games hit harder. One pass, one dunk, everything can shift. Legacies aren't given here, they're earned. New stories are ready, and new champions are coming. Season 2 is here. Stand tall for British basketball.
Welcome back to the Copper Box. It's London Lions in dominant form versus the Newcastle Eagles. Half-time, 58-26. Is the score at the moment. Alongside me is Mark Clark, and well, this is the 6th time that they've met, and the least that Newcastle have scored in any of these matchups was at home, 50-76 on the 9th of January, and the way things are working, they may not get to that score tonight.
And Graham, as we go look at the current score there's a story for you, Graham. 57-50, the Gladiators have over the Riders, and the Riders are a little beaten up at the moment. Obviously, they had that really heartbreaking loss to Cheshire on Friday, and Flynn Bourne-Raffett went down in that game. So on top of the issues they've got on personnel-wise, they lose another guy, but the Riders, if nothing, have got big heart, great coach, down 7. That game is by no means done, and I fully expect Riders to find a way to get back into that. But like the thing about the great thing for Coach Sabonis in shot there and the Lions is that the quality of what they do, that the intensity defensively and the way that they've actually put a performance on the floor has been relentless. And that's the word that sums them up for me. You know, whether it's Scott who shares it, great cut, they get a throw down because they share the ball. Osalade, great look to the opposite elbow. And then on the inside, you've got some real options, and then you move the ball, find the open guy. When I catch the ball, is there anyone in a better position than me to finish the play? That's the Coach Studel technical. Here you go.
Yeah.
And you know, Coach Studel is a very experienced coach now.
Sure.
Has done a great job with the Great Britain national team.
International coach.
And has qualified Great Britain for multiple Eurobaskets. Yep. And he's trying anything he can at that stage to keep his team engaged. But it's one of those perfect storms. What could have gone wrong for the Eagles went wrong, and what could have gone right for Lions went right. So that's why we end up in this type of situation. You know, does this break all the momentum that Coach Studel's built in the last 4 games? No, it won't. He's too good a coach. He's got Josh Ward here, but close to coming back. You saw Josh in the huddle there. That's going to help him. That'll get his personnel back up. And they're not the team you want to play in the playoffs, because you have to go and play at the Virtue Arena, which is a real tough one. So what he's got to make sure now, he's got to get out of London, and he's got to limit the damage. And we could talk about, he's 30 down, if he wins this quarter, he's back in it. Let's just be realistic right now. There's lots of things that the Eagles have got to do. And winning or thinking about winning that game is not on the agenda right now. If they have a great third quarter, why not? But in reality, they've got to limit the damage of this game.
Yeah, playing for personal pride. And hope you enjoyed the material with Coach Sabonis and Ethan Price, and a great young coach who's come over from Lithuania, and such a great family involved in basketball as Dion Hammond hits the deck and is fouled in the act of shooting. Gets some a little bit hobbling. Let's hope he's okay, because they're short-handed enough as it is.
I just think he came down and slight twist of the ankle there, Graham, and he looks like he's okay. He's not going to want to come out, although in saying that, Coach Studel will get to a point at some point saying, well, if he's struggling and we're down 30, I'm going to take him out, and I'm going to try and get him, not make whatever the problem is with the ankle, if there is one, not make it any worse.
Dion Hammond at the line. Hammond went to Monmouth College. He's played around Europe, Romania, Belgium, Germany at Göttingen. First year at Newcastle, and of course they played in the EMBL as well this year. It's been a busy schedule for the likes of Newcastle, Bristol and Manchester in that competition. Lions are in Eurocup as Shavar Reynolds, the shifty guard, gets to the basket, and I guess we'll go to the line for 2 shots there.
Well, let's not forget, Newcastle made the final of that competition last year.
They did.
And, it's great that you've got 4 teams in the SLB playing in European competition. Now, obviously, you'd love a team going in the Basketball Champions League. You've got a team in the Europe Cup, which is one of the best competitions there is in Europe. And then in the FIBA Europe Cup, but you've got to start that process of playing in European competition. It's great for the game here that we're doing that.
Yeah, and some great nights, some great midweek nights for Eurocup. I mean, and going back to your time when you were in charge of London Lions women, just amazing, which then led on to them winning that Eurocup. It's just amazing for you as a coach and for all the players and fans concerned.
Well, I think the other point when we played the first 2 years in that is that the number of British players that were playing alongside some quality international players was exceptional, and that is it's a different experience, right? It's different for the crowd. The crowd gets some of the games that we've had here with the men in the Europe Cup this year. Level has been phenomenal.
Yeah, and as Maceo Jack gets a ball in the face from Adamu, who's come into the game for the first time. Another Brit playing regularly for GB in these World Cup windows and Eurobasket. But yeah, and London Lions this year in Eurocup, they had a lot of 1 point and very narrow losses. If those had gone the other way, they make the playoffs. Scott And, well, that pass intended for Brown Jr. is intercepted by Mitch Clark. Can Newcastle Eagles get something positive going here?
Well, it's one that it's not quite as basic as this, but get a stop, get a score, and then start again, get another stop.
Yeah.
Try and build some positive outcomes and try and put a little bit of pressure on Lions.
Brown Jr. to Williams. Williams up against Hammond. Turns, jump hook, that's a tough shot and no good on that occasion. Cole Long to Mitch Clark. Nice bounce, attempted bounce pass, but well, it looks as though it's going to go the other way, and another quick turnover for the Eagles, which they could really do without. Coach Stoodle doesn't agree.
No, Coach Stoodle's absolutely right. There's no way that ball didn't go off the foot of a Lions player, I don't believe. I'd like to see it again if possible. Then the referees have got together, but Coach Stoodle has to make that point before the referees just...
Yeah.
If you're not sure, ask. You've got two co-officials out there. It's a team of referees, work together as a team, and you don't have Coach Stoodle getting upset here about this. Clearly comes off the toe. No one in a black shirt was looking to run the floor.
No. Nice play by
just a bit of teamwork, Graham. That's all, just a bit of teamwork.
Williams, good pass. And Scott tries to climb to the hoop, but he stops, but again, given straight back by Newcastle Eagles and Long.
Yeah, don't throw it across the floor with people retreating like that. You've got to throw it beyond them.
Brown Jr. And that is a tough move. Great touch at the basket for Charlie Brown Jr.
Well, you're going to get a replay of this, and you watch the first step. It's done in a step, this. Catch the ball and make that decisive first step. Game over on the step. Defense, you could argue, could close out better, but watch, gone.
Yeah.
He's already, once he gets that deep, he's got so many different ways of finishing around the ring that it's all done in the speed of the decision and the first step. Gets advantage with just that one movement.
Charlie Brown, another good pickup for the Lions. Played G League and
did he miss a free throw?
He did.
That's the first free throw he's missed since he's been in the SLB.
Well,
mark that one down. There you go.
He's going to be back in the gym, probably in the gym later after that miss.
We may jest, but he probably will.
He will be. Former G League and just a great pickup for the Lions. Clark, well, he actually left his feet there and still had the ball, but now Coach Sabonis is getting irritated, and the response of the referee is to give a 10.
So it's a 33-point game, and that's rightly how Coach Sabonis is wanting perfection all the time.
Yeah.
He looks at that as his player closed him out.
Yes.
And forced him to do that, and he's adamant in his mind that that's a travel, which and it's so why it doesn't matter. Some people say, oh, why is he doing that? He's 30 points up. He's doing that because he likes the way that his player challenged the shot, and then caused that.
That was a good closeout from Brown Jr. Frustration for Coach Sabonis. So both coaches with technical fouls now. They've just got to be careful, but with a lead that is so... And Scott goes to the basket. Nothing careful about that. Strong move from Scott for Lions.
Now, we can make it sound very standard by saying standard pick and roll, open side, no help, and timing was good. Nice pass by Emin. But the execution, if you broke it down, super angle on the screen, pass led him to the basket. Scott is just a very good basketball player, Graham. We love watching him play basketball.
Yeah, great athlete. Nice footwork again by Burden Jr. Had to get Scott up off his feet, and there's a foul called. And Sabonis is saying to Scott, get your hands up, don't reach, I think. Charlie Brown with the inbounds. Ethan Price hands off to Reynolds, who attacks the basket, can't get it to go. Dion Hammond pushes. Burden. Clark lets fly. He's off left. The high-flying Charlie Brown Jr. with the rebound. Here comes the Lions. Pull-up J is off. Brown Jr. off the glass. No box out, and easy 2 points for the Lions.
Brown gets a defensive rebound at one end, and as we said all game, wants to play this game so much, he then outworks everybody, runs 90 feet from baseline to baseline and picks up the offensive board.
Again, Coach Sabonis has spoken previously about how he just does everything. Difficult to have to take him out when he plays so well, and Adamu with the foul on Okafor.
Yes, you know, Okafor went to work with a mismatch, gets fouled, goes to the free throw line. It's a better start to this half by Newcastle. You know, they make this, it's still at 30.
Okafor. He's at 1.98 m. He's played for the Nigerian national team as well. And again, it's a solid pickup for Newcastle Eagles as he's at the foul line.
Graham, the quality of the league here, you've got like a Nigerian national team player that's played in Afro basket, yes, World Cup qualifiers, etc. in this league. You've got numerous players playing for numerous different national teams, as well as obviously that there's a lot of Brits who play in the league. This league's getting deeper and deeper in talent.
You've just got to keep pushing forward with British basketball, keep it on the map. Scott, strong move. That's just technically correct move there, Coach.
If there's bigger players out there who want to see how to play with your back to the basket, you know, Scott can do it all, can knock down the three, but his footwork out of the top draw. Created a bit of space with his body and then finished the play.
And then he switches onto the super quick Burden as well. Causes him issues. Mitch Clark trying to find some space. Now he's got Ethan Price on him. Pulls up from behind the arc. And that's long.
And that's a great job by Price. Make him shoot the ball over you. Don't let him go past you.
Scott to Reynolds Jr. Sean D. Brown. Back outside. Adamu just drains the three. Amin knocks it down. It's timeout Newcastle. And as you say, Mark, they're relentless on defense. They're pretty relentless on offense today as well.
Well, you made the point. Adamu hasn't played in the whole first half. Last man in on the roster comes in. Just impact, contribution, just doing a professional job. There are plenty of players who would sit there and go, oh, no, I'm disappointed about not playing. He's ready to play. Whenever he's asked, he's ready to play.
Yeah, great player to come off the bench, shooting over 46% from the three, and here's the scorers, Mark.
Well, there you go. Scott, Soko, and Brown. That front line, normally we talk a lot about the quality in the backcourt for Lions, but these guys up front have just been dominant. Dominant on the inside, sharing the ball, getting to the ring. It's been an excellent performance so far by Lions, and you know, with Coach Sabonis' mentality, as you heard during the half-time piece, his expectations are always high.
All 12 players on the Lions roster have scored, with Adamu getting that three, and I think that's a focus for Coach Sabonis today. Just maybe it's a nod towards Manchester as well. Look, we get everybody available and fit. Who are you going to stop? Who are you going to guard? And you know their defense is going to be top level, especially for a final like that. They're going to go up a notch. But who do you guard? Who do you stop?
Well, I think the thing you can say about the rest of the league is, as Newcastle proved in the trophy, down reasonable margin at the half, found a way to get back in, and we're looking at only a 6-7 point margin at the end of the game, under 10. So like the rest of the league knows it can compete with Lions, and that's the great thing about one-off games. Week in, week out, they're going to win games. They're just so deep. They're going to always have everybody enough depth in the roster. One-off game for silverware.
Yeah.
Great opportunity.
Hammond shakes free and drains the mid-range too. Nice play. And Sabonis complained. He's just got to stay calm now, Coach. You don't want to get another technical.
You are right, but his expectation is that everybody is still playing, everybody is still executing.
Quick three, and that's a bit long. And it's Rich Clark with the rebound, left hand finish! And a block by Ethan Price, but I think...
Yeah, on the way down.
A little bit of basket. Goal interference. Amin Adamu.
Yeah, tell you what, Graham, take your hat off to Newcastle here. Like that you said about personal pride, they are staying with this, really trying to find a way to get competitive in the game.
McGusty, nice bounce pass. Well, they've tried the extra pass into the corner. Here comes Bird, and no one's getting back, and I think Sabonis is asking for timeout, and rightly so. They, as you say, Mark, they cannot switch off here.
Well, he won't. He's in a great position, Coach Sabonis. He's got a cup final next Sunday. He's not going to want it. No one's going to want to get in Coach's bad books. No one wants to be in Coach Sabonis's doghouse right now because everyone wants to play next week. So, you know, he's going to be really hard-nosed about. He doesn't like those turnovers where they throw it across the defense. You've got to create a clear path of the ball. So you've got to actually like line up and move to get to a space to make the pass possible.
Well, we've talked about the cup final, and it's almost here. Another week to go before all roads lead to Manchester, and it's the women's cup final and the men's cup final. And here's the details: Sunday, 22nd of March, AO Arena, and you mentioned that is a great venue for and that will do these cup finals proud.
Well, two things, Graham. One, both Manchester men's and women's teams are in the final. Hometown, going to be a lot of people wanting to go to the game. The AO Arena has some real history within the British game. You know, the old Manchester Giants, as they were, opened up that arena and played against the old London Leopards that they used to play in this part of the world.
Yeah.
20,000 people watch the game. It's like a record for the game. We're now back at the AO Arena for the first time for a cup final. That's where you get your tickets. AXS.com, go there, get there, and then you'll see people like us who are just up for this game because both the men's and the women's game, they're going to be tough games. Silverware on the line, Graham. Where are you going to be next Sunday? You got to be in Manchester.
You got it. All roads leading to Manchester once, and that will be a wonderful cup day of cup final basketball. Brown Jr. attacks from the corner and finishes, and high-level player completes a high-level move.
He's just, there's not a coach in this league who wouldn't die to have him in their team.
Now, not sure what's happened here. Oh, there's some moisture maybe on the floor, where Brown Jr. just had fallen after his move. But yeah, I think Brown Jr., they were fortunate. It's just, you know, good scouting.
Just got to be a bit quicker, isn't he, Graham? Just a bit more, you know. Let's get that arm going a bit quicker. You've got to dry that floor. That's his starring moment.
On Mother's Day.
He will be signing autographs after the game.
It'll all be going on after the game here. Burden attacks through the legs into the corner. Maceo Jack drains the three. Nice set shot style for Maceo Jack.
Well, that is Newcastle basketball. That's what they've been doing the last few weeks. And they get it under 30.
Well, Williams into the opposite corner for Rye. McGusty, screen from Price. And Price comes back to offer another screen. McGusty pulls up, off, just didn't quite get into what they wanted there, it didn't look like for the Lions. But here comes the Eagles, Burden. Through the legs, attacks, stays low. Well, he's going to have to kick it back out. They're back where they started. Maceo Jack, under 10 seconds. Maceo Jack goes left. Now they get the wide open look, and they drain it. Great patience from the Eagles.
Great movement by Mitch Clark off the ball. Made the pass so easy because he just moved out of the line of the defense. Easy pass, great catch, great shot. Newcastle doing a much better job in this third quarter.
73-48, 25 points, the difference. Williams attacks, ball's loose. Maybe he should have taken the three. Aaron Rye with the steal, but a foul called on London Lions 21, Aaron Rye.
Don't you just love Aaron Rye? His teammate turns it over, he has it knocked away. What's he doing now? He's ready to try and create something. Okay, gave the foul up. Still have fouls to give, a 1:48 in the quarter. never stops playing, Aaron Rai.
Super smart. There's a great picture on Instagram of him and Jove and his brother. As we're going to... Oh, what a block! We'll come back to that. What an effort by Williams, because that was going to be a big-time dunk there by Camwy.
Won't mind seeing that again. Dean Williams' reaction will tell you everything he needs to know about it.
That was two guys above the rim going at it right there, and Camwy, 57.5% from the free throw line, and another Brit who's come through the British system, and he is a big unit. And I really like watching the way he plays. Big, strong guy, but good touch as well.
Can you imagine? There's Josh Ward-Hibbert as you see him on the bench, Graham. Like, obviously, injury really early on the season. He's not far off. He's got uniform on today.
Yeah.
So can't be that long before. And don't forget, they're missing a Great Britain international there. So ex-Lion as well.
Ex-Lions as well. Yeah, just a super player, Ward-Hibbert. Williams. And they're really going to, they need to get something positive here. They've just gone off the boil in this quarter. Ethan Price straight into his jump shot. He's off. And they can get it back with a 3 to a 20-point deficit. And they're at 50 points. Burden goes along the baseline, hangs in the air, and he's fouled, and that's clever by the nifty guard, Terrell Burden.
He did a great job at making something out of nothing, because he's behind the backboard in the land of lots of size. And he is not, let's just say, he's not the tallest guy to be playing SLB basketball this season, but did a great job at holding his body, a little bit of hang time, you know, and draw some contact. Great job. You know, you can't criticize anything that's going on by Newcastle at the moment. And Coach Simone is getting a little bit frustrated.
Yeah.
And there's, I think Lions should be so proud of the way they are relentless, but they're up 30, they were up 30 points. There's no way a team continues with the same relentlessness when they have a 30-point advantage. But I think he thinks they've dipped way below what he is going to accept.
And that's a good way to get back to positive ways, is get to the foul line, and Dean Williams with a nice attack off the bounce pass.
Yeah.
Dean Williams, 5 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists up to this point in the game so far. And he's 67.5% free throw shooting, nothing but net there. But another good story about a British player finding his way back to the top team in the country.
Yeah, and Dean Williams has obviously had a very good professional career. Great success when he was in Germany, obviously with 2 teams that actually won the Basketball Champions League. And it's great that this league, and Lions in particular, obviously give him the opportunity to play in front of the home fans. So made his debut with the Great Britain national team in the last window. I think that's a real asset for them. So
yeah, they've got to identify these British players that are ready to contribute to the national team. Burden, that's off. Who's going to get the rebound? Aaron Rye's in there and Scott's in there, and they do it as a duo or as a trio, but they get it done. McGusty, Scott, Williams, Aaron Rye in the mid post. Aaron Rye against Clark. He's got the size. Williams just off the front of the rim, but Rye again, right place, right time. He gets the assist. McGusty gets the 3.
Well, it's that 3-4-5 lineup we've talked in the game earlier on with Aaron Rye at the 3, and really tough to guard.
And right at the end of the third quarter, Burden needed to let it fly, had a good look. Doesn't quite go down, but that's much better by the Eagles, who 26-17, they win that third quarter. Much better effort, and you can see Sabonis much more animated now than he was earlier in the game.
See, what Coach Sabonis is saying is, like, McGusty took the shot, and yeah, he made it, but there's a perfectionist in every coach. And he's like, well, why did you shoot it? Because if you'd have just waited for another 3 or 4 or 5 seconds, they wouldn't have got another look. And there's the numbers. It's getting a little better for Newcastle, up to 45, and they're still down at 22. But look at Lions, like 55% from three, and some people will say it's an area where they should be better. Well, they're shooting 55% at the moment. It's a great job. They're making free throws. We watched them miss a lot of free throws here as well.
Yeah, sure.
You know, if they're starting to get ready for the end of the season, watch out the rest of the SLB.
Yeah, 26-20. Newcastle Eagles win that quarter. 27 rebounds to 17. 26 assists for the Lions v 12 for the Eagles. A better effort for the Eagles. Can they maintain it into the fourth quarter? And the entertainment, it's a good crowd here on a Sunday afternoon, and the Copper Box playing host to the Super League basketball.
There's a fair number of people in the upper bowl here in the Copper Box, so you know, it's a really good atmosphere. Lions doing, you know, I think there's always been an issue. You've got to make people get into the habit of coming to basketball, and like the issue Lions have had in the past, and I think other teams have had it as well, is people come because they have a day out, and it's a really good day out, but they don't become regular fans. You just look at the number of the crowd here that they're in their Lions kit.
Yeah.
You know, it's now like these guys are regulars at the game, and once you get regulars at the game, you build a fan base. The atmosphere gets better. We've had some great days here and nights, European nights in particular, and this is the great thing. Once you're in the habit of coming, you can build a real following. You know, Newcastle do a great job at that. You know, they pretty much get sellout crowds so often during the season, and they hosted the Great Britain game, another sellout.
Yeah.
So the organisations in this league starting to regularly put lots of bums on seats.
Yeah, and they're consulting with their fans as well in the community of how they can take things forward and improve things, and that's what we need in British basketball. We want it to have its rightful place as one of the leading sports and sporting entertainments in the league. Scott talking of entertaining players, but again, Eagles come out front foot defense. Maceo Jack in the open floor. Aaron Ryder slows him down. Mitch Clark. Maceo Jack back to Clark, goes left against Soko. Off the glass, can't get it to go. Good defense by Ovi Soko without fouling it. He's just nailed. Well, he's collided with Burden inside, and Ovi Soko gets fouled by Kamwe, and a lot of physicality. As soon as Soko comes into the game, it's a bit of old school ball.
So they've called that as an unsportsmanlike foul.
I just think he just got called up in the up fake and the footwork by Ovi Soko.
And what Coach Studel is trying to say is, well, what's the difference between that and this call, or what's and that's what Coach Sabonis was saying in the first half about why is that an unsportsmanlike, and the foul on Joel Scott wasn't, that they were asking for.
Sure.
I don't know, Graham. I don't know why one was an unsportsmanlike and one wasn't. And we're not analysing the officials. What we're analysing here is the quality of what Lions have put on the floor.
Yeah, and it's really the first time for a while, because you look who they've left, who's not even suited up, Karolis Lukashunas.
Yeah.
And I like the way he plays. He's a great asset to have as a shooter. That sort of stretch 3-4, you know, but Soko's in, and Ovi's doing what he does. And, it's great to have another Brit on the floor. McGusty steps into a long-range shot, no good. Mitch Clark gets it initially, and foot violation, and the ball stays with the Eagles. Yeah, with Lukashunas, I mean, he's nearly 46% from behind the arc, so that sort of Lithuanian
floor wipers back in, Graham.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, what do you see here, Mike?
I just think it should be given a little quicker, you know. For those people watching the game who watch some of the stuff, the national team stuff, you remember some of those clips of the floor wipers that just go at it.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. They do it with real fervour. Jack, a bit of handoff action, but Soko staying in front, big hands, and there's a whistle, and there's a push, and Ovi Soko did his absolute best, but right at the last second, he committed the foul there.
That's tough by Maceo Jack. Does a really nice job at getting himself balanced to go through that contact. And I like the way he's rising, he's responding to the challenge. It's not a great situation for any team to be in, but Maceo Jack, you know, it's really, well, it's you don't want to say has put some pride into the performance, but he genuinely has played incredibly tough and hard, and has not sat down here, has not backed down.
Yeah, and he's again knows the Super League basketball well with his time in Cheshire. Played in France last season. Now back with Newcastle Eagles. Lions attack. McGusty just hangs in the air and finishes with his tries to finish with his left hand. Will go to the line for 2 shots.
Wow, before the injury that McGusty had, those situations, he's so long, protects the ball so well, so good on those sort of short pull-ups or little finishes around the ring at that sort of guard spot here. Slices through the seam and protects the ball all the way there. He's a good athlete, very, very, very good basketball player.
McGusty at the line. 8 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists today for Cameron McGusty. Averaging, he just played 10 points this season, as you alluded to, Mark, with the injury, and putting up solid numbers. 9 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists.
And has much better numbers in his Europe Cup numbers before he got hurt.
Yeah, key player for the Lions. But good play again by Burden. And there's a foul before the shot. Burden, I know he is the shortest player, I guess, on the court, but he really got himself low there and attacked the basket.
It's very good. I love the way he did that. But no, there's no but. It's just what we talked earlier on, didn't we, when there was a call that was made later in the play.
Yeah.
Which meant that the Lions scored. And now there was a dribble after the contact. You know, I'm like, I'm just confused, you know. keep me off trying to understand the where and the why for of
you got it. We'll just concentrate on these great athletes. Reynolds, who's one of them, free throw line jump shot, and he knocks it down. And
does a great job.
Ovisoko heavily involved in just being a diversion there to release Shavar Reynolds.
He does a great job, Reynolds, finding space, so good on the pull-up. And we've got another...
I just think Ovi wants to get involved. He wants to get physical. He wants to get in people's faces, and that's part of his persona on the court.
Yeah, I assume it's another technical foul, because if that's 2 technicals on Ovisoko, I'm not sure if it is 2. Is it 2? But it was a technical on Ovisoko, was it?
I'm just going to see if it's updated on the live stats. Well, they've just taken the 1 free throw, so it's definitely a technical.
It was definitely a technical foul. I just didn't actually know who. So that's what, that's the 4th technical foul in the game.
Yeah, and it's a 29-point game.
Well, yeah, I mean...
But that's the intensity that these coaches bring to the game.
Yeah,
and the players.
I'm not really seeing a 4 technical game, really.
No, absolutely not. Hammond gets open. Short, but a nice job by Taylor. Burden looking for options. He's really got some moves. Rashawn Taylor trying to create space, but that's going to be off left. Maceo Jack with the rebound.
Maceo Jack for the Eagles.
Jack goes one-on-one against Scott, pulls up and drains the mid-range 2.
Maceo Jack with another 2.
He stepped it up in the second half for sure, and Ethan Price hands off to Aaron Wright. Wright pulls it back out, looks inside to Ethan Price. Price against Jack. McGusty attacks, good job by Hammond. 4 seconds, McGusty drains it. Wow, Cameron McGusty doing his thing there.
Hammond didn't do a bad job at all.
No.
Stopped the penetration. You know, had his hand up, could have maybe got it up sooner, but like, McGusty's just a good basketball player, you know?
It's timeout, and this is just looking at this again, and he just sort of sets Hammond up and just drags him out.
Just gets enough separation so he can get the the ball above the eye line and does a really nice job.
London Lions, 30-point lead, and they continue their charge towards the to the title, to the SLB Championship. They've won the trophy. You know, we've got a quadruple still on here for the Lions. Now they've got everybody fit. If they can keep them fit and focused, they're going to be tough to dislodge.
Well, the clean sweep, if you want, the quadruple is definitely on the cards. It becomes, obviously, it would take a remarkable collapse if they didn't win the regular season. If they win the cup, then it comes down to the playoffs, you know, and it's Lions aren't going to want to miss out on a day at the O2. So
no, they're not.
And I think Manchester, one of the teams that obviously a number of teams who proved they can beat them, and you know, the playoff order. If it finished today, they will be playing Newcastle in the first round. So.
Yes. And there's Tahir, one of our commentator colleagues, getting involved with the mascot, and well, everybody's having a great time, and well, some impressive moves.
If the Lion went out there and played the way Lions are playing today, I fancy his chances from the three-point line.
He will get open.
He would definitely get open.
Yeah, so Lions 16-5, the closest team to the Cheshire Phoenix, 16-11. So Lions have still got a number of games to play because of their Euro Cup exploits. They're a little bit behind in games played, but and they play Surrey on Thursday at home or at Hackney College. That will be live on DAZN. Reynolds Jr. back outside to McGusty. Ethan Price just falls to the floor, but so does Hammond. There's a little bit of moisture there on the floor. Maceo Jack hangs in the air, can't get it to go. Great defense without fouling by the Lions.
The floor wipe has been busy, Graham. He's got to get the three-point line where Newcastle fell over as well. No,
yeah.
No, in fact, the referee said that's okay.
Wow, that's where Hammond slipped.
Yeah.
And Caledonia Gladiators, just looking at the other game briefly, 79-65. They beat Leicester, but Leicester, as you alluded to, and they had the same issues against Surrey, even though they had that miracle win on missing key players.
Yeah, they're even missing even more because Flynn Borman's also went out the other day, so I don't know if he played today. So,
all right, well, we hope Leicester can get back on track with their personnel. Talking about key personnel, Williams off to the right. Price can't get the rebound, but Shavar Reynolds picks it up. Little jump shot and nothing but net.
He is so good on that feet set, elevate, in that little pull-up. That he just did it off the recovery of the pass, but he is so tough to guard.
Maceo Jack wants to take Ethan Price. Just a little fade away on that jump shot. Maceo Jack, multi-talented player. Shavar Reynolds looks at McGusty, but Rye gets it, short corner, back to Aaron Rye, and well, that little interaction made in Great Britain. Nice move by Aaron Rye. Just move without the basketball, just simple.
Maybe the people in Dartmouth may have an issue with the made in Great Britain. But
via Canada. Oh, I see. Okay,
he's definitely got a British passport on that.
You got it. That's what I meant. Anybody watching from Dartmouth, I know you've had a huge influence on Aaron Rye's rise to the level of play that he's at now, and we are
now benefiting.
We are benefiting. Hemel Storm benefited, and Cheshire Phoenix benefited, and now London Lions benefit. What a super all-round player he is. Here comes Amir Adamu. He just didn't quite see Hammond coming up on that side. And just another good, solid guard that London Lions can bring in. Lions number 5 there. Adamu with the inbounds to Williams. Price looks inside. He's going to try and go himself. He can step through here, and he does. And that's good patience from Ethan Price.
Great feet, right? Just got the guy in the air, stepped through, got an angle.
And can we was guarding Ethan Price there, so two Brits going at it. Maceo Jack looking for a pass, and he gets the pass to Rashawn Taylor, the player to watch, and a great finish by Newcastle's number 3.
And those were the plays that they didn't make in the first half. They missed a lot of shots around the ring. This is a great finish in traffic. Really gets up, protects the ball really well. But those are the plays, as tough as that was, that they didn't make in the first half, and that really just let Lions run away with this first half and a lead that they were never going to give up.
93-61 to London Lions at home versus the Eagles. Elbow J, just in and out, but they're the shots Ethan Price. He has to take that.
Oh, absolutely, Graham.
He's wide open. Rashawn Taylor. Taylor still has it, pulls up, misses everything, and good D by Lions from the corner, and he's held by Mitch Clark. Otherwise, Chaundy Brown might have wanted to elevate there for another dunk. Chaundy Brown Jr., I mean, we speak about him a lot with his energy and his desire. He can knock down the 3, but he wants to get to the basket and create highlight plays as well.
I know the vast majority of players love to play, but I don't know of anyone who loves to play as much as he does.
He played in the NBA and G League, and Kobe Storks and New Taipei Kings in the 24-25 season, so has played at a seriously high level, and Lions,
the
Lions
new
have got him in.
Taipei Kings in Taiwan. That new Taipei, yep.
That's what I meant.
No, no, they are the new. I was, both of us, covered World Cup qualifiers and fortunate enough to do Taiwan in Chinese Taipei in a game. Great love, and packed gym.
Yeah.
Super. It's literally the gym that he would have played in. Unbelievable. Great atmosphere. Fortunately for the home crowd, they came up with a huge win over Korea, which was a bit of a shock.
Wow.
But
that's going to be that's a great victory for them, and World Cup qualifiers just amazing. 2 amazing windows. If you're watching on DAZN and you haven't got into international basketball, as Hammond tries to go over the top of the London Lions defence, do get involved, get onto that World Cup qualifiers, the website and the app. And when the Super League basket was not on, you've got great basketball to watch there. And the Women's World Cup qualifiers have been on as well.
Well, it's all available via DAZN, isn't it?
Of course, DAZN and then Courtside 8091. So you can access it all through DAZN. Thank you, Mark, for leading me in the correct direction again as we get a jump ball by Maceo Jack. And the GB women get a win against Austria and keep rolling towards those main Eurobasket qualifiers, Mark.
Well, again, Graham, it's another example of how much work that the Super League does with basketball outside the Super League, because Dominique Allen, who's the GM at Manchester, is overseeing that program managerially, and they hosted the games in Manchester at the Performance Centre. So, there's a lot of good stories around what the Super League does across basketball, and there's a lot of good stories with the national team. So, it's
keep supporting them.
Absolutely.
Keep supporting, keep turning out. And Dion Hammond knocked down that jump shot there while we were chatting about the national teams, sparking a timeout from Sabonis, who wants to finish this game in the right way. 94-65 as MC Tahir gets everybody fired up. I think there's some free stuff going to get thrown out to the crowd. 94-65, and Eagles, I guess it's damage limitation, try and finish the game in the right way.
So I was just standing up, waiting for the T-shirt. Sorry.
Right, I'll keep talking. So
no. I think it's always the great thing for me when coaches like Coach keep looking to get better. So, and the great thing is, if you're someone like an Ethan Price, first year as a pro, Amin Adamu, early in his pro career, there's that added bonus there that you are being challenged to be better all the time.
Yeah.
So Lions will never say, oh yeah, we've won this game by 30, that's just whatever. And plus that means the crowd gets to see them playing at the right level. While sometimes people will question Coach Sabonis, at the end of the day, he wants his team to be as good as they can be all the time. Yeah, and the performances speak for themselves.
He's a high-intensity coach. There's a trap from Eagles. Sort of three-quarter court, which London Lions deal with Tariq Phillip. Just waiting for things to happen. Price sets the screen for Adamu. Back to Tariq Phillip. 4 Brits on the floor, and John D. Brown Jr. And Ethan Price. Setting screens is a real skill.
Well, yeah.
What's the keys, Mark, in your view?
I think what they Lions do, as a number of other people do, you come up one side and then you look to set the screen on the other side.
Yeah.
So timing becomes important. You've got to allow Ethan Price to establish the position.
Yeah.
And he has to have the ability to say, oh, even if I'm a little late, I can't move now. That's all. And also, Ethan Price was playing with hands on. That's asking the referee to make the call.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, it's great defensive effort by Taylor to actually slide through and make it hard for him to set the screen.
Yeah. So, Newcastle Eagles keep playing. They keep pushing. 94-65. They're down short-handed. 8-player roster. 46 fouls, 26-18 in favour of Lions as Burden knocks down the free throw. And he's one player that has certainly not given up at all during this game. He has got a big, big heart. At 1.77 m, 23 years old, Burden. Another young player, young pro, starting out his professional. And again, double team, and they almost lose it at the halfway line. Jack and Rashawn Taylor with a bit of pressure there. Approaching 2 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Tariq Phillip off left. And Ethan Price knocks the ball out of bounds, and it will go back to the Eagles.
See, there's a better example of how Ethan Price should and how Tariq Phillip should time that screen as they change sides. There was just a little bit more space, which enabled Ethan to set a standing still screen and gave Tariq Phillip a better angle to attack it.
Hammond just short, not shy to take the three. Good rebound by Adamu. Adamu brings it over half court. Now the screen offered, solid screen from Price, who then rolls all the way into the corner. Extra pass from Kieran Sandy. Phillip points exactly where he wants the screen. Creates separation, jumps into the defense, and 2 shots incoming. Smart play by the GB International.
Well, 100% smart play, Graham. It'd be good to see it again, actually, in terms of the way he creates the space and draws the contact, because he really, even because he had the defender in the air, he initiated that contact, and that's why he is one of the offensive threats that he is. He's scored incredibly well. He's scored well in Turkey, he's scored well in Israel. Everywhere he has played this game, from when he first came over into Europe, into Hungary, because he has, one of the things he's always been able to do is score the ball.
Yeah, just averaging 6 points, 3 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 81% from the free throw line. But again, he's in a team with so many scoring options. Anytime he needs to score, he's got it back. Nice play, but can't get it to go over, can we? But Rashawn Taylor fighting to the end. Burden attacks. Wow, that was impressive when he was going left and ended up finishing right.
Did a great job, started changing direction. And this is a much better reflection of where Newcastle are. I mean, they were pretty much this much down at the half.
Yeah.
It's obviously hard for Lions to keep pushing, but Eagles have just managed to keep the scoreboard ticking over in the second half.
Adamu, really high arcing shot, can't get it to go. Into the final minute, Maceo Jack for the Eagles. Screen offer by Camwy. Jack, he's going to take the J off. Rebounded Ethan Price. And now they can just ease things down and run the minute. Well, that was a really nice screen from Price, and Tariq Phillip did the rest on the jump shot.
Tariq Phillip is just a baller.
Yeah.
Absolute baller.
As you mentioned, at its time in Europe, I always enjoyed watching him. Basketball Champions League, there's a whistle. We just can't quite, just need to get to the end of the game. And London Lions have got the win. And
do you have that in your contract, Graham, that if the game goes over 2 hours in regulation, you're on a different rate? Is that the way it works?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It's all gone very quiet in the production truck. And Nick Hill at SLB.
Well, 2 hour game.
We may get deselected from commentating if we suggest that.
No. a 2 hour game. It's a great 2 hours for people on Mother's Day. You know?
Exactly. You
want to take your mother out? This is where you should have brought your mother.
Here we go. Last 8 seconds now. They may or may not take a shot. They push it to Phillip, and he's going to hold it. And Tariq Phillip ends up with the ball at the end of a dominant performance by the London Lions. And they take the victory, a big one. They're second in a row after 2 losses. And Coach Sabonis looks happy. 98-71, they get the win. And Newcastle Eagles made a better fist of it in the second half, winning 26-20 in the third and losing 20-17 in the fourth. But Mark, London Lions back at the top of the game.
Oh, I'm absolutely back at the top of the game. Give some credit to Eagles, as you just have, in terms of the way they stuck with it in the second half. 31 assists in a 98-point scoreline. It tells you they didn't have to create too much for themselves.
No.
Going to the free throw line 25 times. Offensively, super performance for Lions. But always, as always, they play better defense. They play harder defense. They're more relentless. Another great performance, getting ready for a cup final.
Yeah, cup final next Sunday. Mark Studel, he's already played Lions in the trophy final. They're in 8th spot. They will remain there. But it's very, very tight, as we'll see in the standings before we get going. And, well, just all 12 players from the Lions score. Just a couple of highlights to run through, Mark.
Well, Lions just put in
You like that one?
I did like that one. Lions just put in a great performance. Everything that's good about Lions was there for everyone to see. They're a hell of a team to try and beat. You have to be perfect. The great thing for those people going to the cup final next week is that Manchester have proved they can do that. So watch out for that one. Lions are obviously playing particularly well with a very healthy roster. Manchester, the hottest team in the league over the last 5 games. Like, set up nicely. 2 great games next week in the cup final. But at this point in time, you just got to enjoy what London Lions put on the floor.
And McGusty back from injury as well. Ovisoko back in as well. So everybody's available. There's the fixtures we've had. And from today, Caledonia Gladiators get the win, 79-65. The Lions win 98-71. Last night, the 89ers, who were in 7th, beat Sheffield Sharks, who were in 4th, 95-77. That was an excellent performance from the Surrey 89ers.
Next.
And now next week fixtures. Lions v Surrey on Thursday. Another big game for both teams to keep momentum going. Riders versus the Gladiators, the return. Riders may have a different look on their roster by then. And then Lions versus Manchester. Sunday, March the 22nd, all roads lead to Manchester in the AO Arena. Well, it's a great win, and Aaron Wright getting up close and personal with the fans. What a wonderful moment for those fans there, Mark.
That's why Aaron Wright is Aaron Wright. He's a player he loves his relationship with players. Just a great advert for the game, Aaron Wright.
10 points today, and 5 assists, 4 rebounds. Well, as the fans celebrate, Newcastle Eagles are going to have to go back up to Newcastle. They've had a 1-1 this weekend, beating Caledonia, and losing to the Lions. I hope you've enjoyed the action on DAZN. Another win for the Lions, who remain top. Good night from myself, Graham Hiscott, and of course, Mark Clark.
Super League basketball is leveling up British hoops. This isn't just a league, it's a movement you can feel and see in the stands. From the first tip to the final buzzer, the story is written. Every drive, every shot, and every moment. Rivalries run deeper, games hit harder. One pass, one dunk, everything can shift. Legacies aren't given here, they're earned. New stories are ready, and new champions are coming. Season 2 is here. Stand tall for British basketball.